The 12th Formula One weekend of the 2024 championship finds Ferrari arriving highly motivated at the 5.891-kilometer Silverstone circuit for a historic event on the calendar. Regardless of the venue, the objective remains the same: to enhance the learning process regarding recent updates introduced by the Maranello technicians on the SF-24 car. The general opinion, the most widespread, is that the Maranello team made a major mistake with the latest update and is hiding behind this as an excuse to not admit that the work done is insufficient and led to a step backwards in terms of performance. Many Ferrari fans are clearly disappointed, and a tragic scenario appears in their minds. The 2024 Formula One season has gone down the drain because the prancing horse has lost its way, just like 2 years ago. After the splendid weekend on the streets of Monte Carlo, with Charles Leclerc winning the Monaco Grand Prix and Carlos Sainz completing a double podium finish for the Italian side, everything seemed to be going smoothly. However, the subsequent Canadian event was written off as a simple, difficult weekend where, for various reasons, almost nothing worked for Ferrari. Then came the immense effort to bring forward the updates and arrive at the Circuit de Catalunya in Barcelona with the new version of the floor, streamlined sidepods, and the latest version of the medium-high downforce rear wing. The SF-24 number 55 took to the track with the new features, unlike the twin car. In this context, it became clear that something was broken. The usual balance that Ferrari had accustomed us to was no longer there. Yes, because the usual predictability of the red car, that ability to hit the track and confirm the setup studied in the simulator, was absent on Charles Leclerc's SF-24 car, which had no updates installed. For this reason, the Monegasque driver requested and obtained a drastic setup change in order to provide that usual stability that had suddenly disappeared, vanished without explanation. What happened from that moment on is well known. We have extensively discussed it through our analyses, recounting in detail, as they say, the erratic behavior of the Italian F1 cars over the Spanish Grand Prix weekend. This behavior reappeared at the Red Bull Ring in Austria, where things certainly did not improve. Ferrari has lost the correct working point of the car and, for this reason, cannot make the SF-24 function as it should. The Ferrari engineers are therefore searching for a compromise that effectively does not exist, because the setup range, at least for the moment, seems very narrow. The Silverstone circuit is a very complicated track. Observing its layout, one quickly understands that once again, the word compromise will be part of the entire weekend for the Italian side. The good transition between slow and fast corners regulates competitiveness, a weak point of the updated SF-24. The data continues to confirm that the upgrades are substantial. Or rather, to be more precise, they indicate that the latest changes made to the cars are valid and effectively add a lot of downforce to the Italian cars. However, this downforce is not yet visible, as unlocking the potential has not yet been possible. As we know, the 2 days at the simulator at the beginning of the week kept Carlos Sainz and Charles Leclerc very busy. Many hours were spent in the driver-in-the-loop to understand how to resolve the situation, to make the car work, and finally get out of this technical impasse that is slowing down the Maranello team's aspirations. For the British Grand Prix, Ferrari has chosen a medium downforce rear wing, the most popular version, the one the team knows best, a solution that falls below the estimated optimal load. They did this for a simple reason. Drivers, technicians, and engineers are convinced they can extract those famous load points from the floor that have been lacking so far. An additional vertical push free from the downforce produced by the wings. All this considering that a stiffer suspension setup will favor handling in fast, loaded corners. So there is a lot of confidence in the SF-24 because a plan to extract the unexpressed performance exists. The protagonists themselves confirmed this in the usual Thursday interviews. Therefore, there is a certain optimism approaching Silverstone. According to various reports and information gathered directly from the English track on Thursday, Friday's practice sessions will be very important for the Italian side. We therefore know that Ferrari will carry out several tests this weekend in Silverstone. Tests scheduled alongside the study conducted through the powerful computers within the sports management. In Formula One, the magic wand does not exist. We know that. However, it seems that a new path will be taken to resume the thread interrupted by the streets of the Principality. In these cases, it is about getting on track and grinding out kilometers to verify how the performance of a setup that can enhance the technical product available. The weather conditions, however, do not seem to agree with. In today's first free practice sessions for the British Grand Prix, in fact, there is a possibility of rain. We are talking about an element that throws a wrench in the works, because testing the desired approach regarding the car's setup with a wet track is what is commonly referred to as a big mess. But the Ferrari team is certainly not demoralized. For this reason, the aforementioned tests will still take place, although logically in this case, they will be affected by the non-optimal track and weather conditions. Ever since winning the Monaco Grand Prix with Charles Leclerc, Ferrari has generally slipped behind Mercedes in the pecking order, despite a sizable upgrade package introduced at the Circuit de Catalunya in Spain. While the new parts have brought some improvements, they have also induced bouncing in high-speed corners, which Leclerc and teammate Carlos Sainz have identified as their main issue now, and that has negated some of the performance improvements. Given that Austria was a sprint weekend with just one free practice session, Ferrari hopes to use the British Grand Prix's traditional format to dig deeper into why its car is not behaving as expected by doing back-to-back tests between the two cars. Ferrari team principal Frédéric Vasseur noted that the team would revert to the standard format, providing them with 3 hours of free practice to find a setup that maximizes the benefits of the new parts. Vasseur emphasized that the optimal car setup can have a more significant impact on lap times than the advantages provided by new components. Charles Leclerc mentioned that they are still trying to determine the best setup to maximize the potential of the upgrades. He acknowledged that the upgrades are delivering the expected results, but optimizing these results requires finding the right configuration for the car, which they have not yet achieved. Carlos Sainz admitted that since the Barcelona weekend, the Maranello team has been less competitive, raising concerns about the new aerodynamic package. He emphasized the need to understand all factors involved with the package. The Spaniard also pointed out that the bouncing issue might be costing Ferrari more lap time than initially thought, with setup compromises further affecting the car's performance in lower speed corners. In summary, Scuderia Ferrari is urgently seeking answers and needs to determine if the direction taken with the latest major package of aerodynamic updates can be continued in the future. If not, the priority will clearly be to change course as quickly as possible, which will require a lot of time and effort in Maranello, a task made even more difficult by the budget cap limitations. Let's not forget that soon the Ferrari engineers and technicians will also start focusing on the car for the 2025 Formula One Championship, the last season which will be based on the current rules and regulations. This situation means next year's single-seater will be an evolution of the SF-24 car, making it even more important for the Italian side to identify the best technical solutions in the next few weeks before the summer break, and make sure the main weaknesses of the current single-seater are fixed in view of the 2025 Formula One campaign.